This is our fiscal year 25 budget. The city runs out of...
Up on News Live at 6, Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh announces a $340 million budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year.
Plus, is Biden buying votes? What Congressman Brandon Williams has to say about the White House's plan for student debt relief.
And the Maxwell School here at SU ranked #1 according to the U.S. World and Report rankings. CitrusTV News Live at 6 begins right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome into News Live at 6 on this sunny Tuesday afternoon. I'm John Perik.
And I'm Olivia Maniscalco. We'll get to Mayor Ben Walsh's announcement on the Syracuse budget here in a moment. But first, something equally as exciting, class registration here on campus. And class registration, it continues throughout the week. Incoming sophomores started registering today and will continue through tomorrow. The Newhouse Advising Office is encouraging any student closed out of a Newhouse class to fill out the course override request form that opens this Friday.
And once again, Syracuse University's Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs ranks #1 in the latest U.S. News and World Report. This marks the 13th time in the last 14 years that the school has received this honor, and this comes while Maxwell celebrates its 100-year anniversary.
With this great weather we're having, we know summer is just around the corner, and SU just announced its summer orientation pilot for incoming students. Academic Affairs and the Student Experience Division have designed a pilot for a new summer orientation program in July, which will complement Welcome Week hosted in August. The school hopes that this will provide incoming students a smoother acclimation into the Orange community.
The university is continuing to recognize Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month tonight. University Union and Multicultural Affairs are welcoming Sherry Cola to campus tonight. Cola is a comedian, actress, and writer, and she will be performing tonight at 8:30 in Shine.
Raphael Richard has been chosen as a convocation speaker at the School of Education ceremony on May 13th. Richard graduated from SU in 2012 and is the Emerging Talent Recruiting Lead at Cisco's University Partnerships. He connects emerging and university talent with career opportunities at the Fortune 100 company. You can catch his words and advice for education graduates at 4:30 on May 13th in the John A. Lally Athletics Building.
DPS is encouraging students to fill out an online survey to learn more about students' perspectives on campus safety. DPS says it's looking to use the results to make necessary improvements to student life. The survey is due April 22nd and takes just about 15 minutes to fill out.
Fall College is welcoming 2 new board members to the school's advisory board. Andrea Massup Ramos and Tatiana Warren will provide industry perspective and guidance to Falk students entering the professional field. Falk administrators believe Ramos and Warren exemplify the values of social responsibility in their citizenship and embody the university's commitment to diversity and inclusion.
2 graduate students with a passion for organ music just got a big national grant to make music. Composer Ryan Meredith and organist Joseph Ozai Little were among 8 students in the country to receive a $1,000 grant from the American Guild of Organists to compose and perform a new piece for organ.
Now to the race for Congress in Syracuse and how it affects you. New comments today from Republican Congressman Brandon Williams on the White House plan to forgive student loans. Our political reporter Luke Radel has the story.
It's a really nice day here at Syracuse University, which probably means the students don't want to talk about their impending mountain of student loan debt. But that's an issue that President Biden is working to address. This week, President Biden in the swing state of Wisconsin.
Please have a seat if you have one.
Making an announcement designed to sway the votes of young people.
Today, I'm proud to announce 5 major actions to continue to relieve student debt from more than 30 million Americans.
We spoke to students on campus today about Biden's debt relief plans, and everyone we spoke to said that they supported it, including Jasper Rose, a sophomore who studies political science and international relations.
Especially the school we go to, it costs $80,000 a year without any financial aid, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't care what anyone says. Like, that's more money than both my parents make in a year. Like, that's crazy.
The president agrees.
How can we be the leading country in the world without the best education system in the world and access to it.
But someone who does not agree with Biden is Syracuse Congressman Brandon Williams. Here's what he had to say on the Dave Allen Show this morning.
This idea that you could just buy votes, you notice that every time it comes up is, right before an election. And, this is what you'd expect in a banana republic, not in the United States of America.
We got a Republican congressman here in Syracuse who says that Biden's effort to relieve student loan debt is buying votes. Do you feel like the president's trying to buy your vote? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I can't lie. So probably because, to be completely honest, I don't like politicians very much because they lie a lot.
In a statement to CitrusTV News, the congressman elaborated on his position on the president's plan, writing, quote, "This is not debt forgiveness, it's transferring the debt to American taxpayers. The debt does not just disappear. Hardworking families across NY22 would be on the hook, and to me, that is unacceptable." Reporting from the Syracuse University campus, Luke Radel, CitrusTV News.
Thank you, Luke. Now, if you've been around the campus today, it's kind of nice out.
Oh, it is extremely nice out. I wish this weather was here yesterday for the solar eclipse, but that's okay. A day late, I'm still loving it.
Yeah,
the quad is packed.
Look at this. Blue skies. We got some streets here. There's a few trees. There's some people enjoying. Here we go. Here we go. A lot of people enjoying the weather outside right now. And one person who I think is joining them is our Kaitlin Campbell. There she is. Kaitlin, is this warm weather here to stay?
Hey, Olivia and John, I think for the first time today, I could say I need sunglasses here at Syracuse University. I mean, the sun is out, the students were out, as you guys just said. It's currently sitting at 75 degrees right now, and the sun is still out, but we'll see some clouds start to creep in here as the sun sets. Tonight, we'll feel about 65 degrees, so kind of a big jump with 10 degrees going down. And if you look around the region, we're seeing that everywhere else is kind of experiencing those spring temperatures of 70 degrees or so, and everybody is able to soak up the sun today. I mean, I agree. I wish we had this weather yesterday for the solar eclipse, but I'll take the sun any chance I could get. That's all I have for right now. Guys, back to you.
Love the sunshine, Kaitlin. And the man who has been accused of helping to find 5-year-old Nefertiti Harris's body has now been released from jail. 27-year-old Corrice Parks is facing charges related to allegedly hiding Harris's body.
But according to prosecutors, the charges do not allow a judge to keep Parks in custody. Parks is Latasha Mott's boyfriend. Mott is the one police say killed her daughter, Nefertiti Harris, back in July.
And Mayor Ben Walsh held a community briefing this morning to announce the highlights of the city's roughly $340 million budget for the 2024-25 fiscal year. The budget covers major investments in housing, public safety, infrastructure, schools, and parks.
The idea there is to invest in the future. We cannot cut our way to prosperity. We have to grow. We have to invest in our neighborhoods, and this is a significant investment in our neighborhoods and in our people.
Now, Mayor Walsh wants to use $2 million of taxpayers' money in the budget to tackle the current housing crisis, despite the budget deficit of nearly $30 million. And the mayor is seeking a $2 million allocation for the Syracuse Housing Trust Fund Corporation.
A new store, exciting, called Kid to Kid that specializes in the resale of children's merchandise announced it will open in Syracuse this Thursday. The store has been buying children's clothing and items since late January. It's been stocked with gently used clothing, equipment, shoes, books, toys, and more. The store is located in the Bear Road Plaza next to Harbor Freight.
Students tonight still reacting to the earthquake that shook the tri-state area on Friday. I could feel it right here on campus. Now our Matt Lesnick joins us tonight after speaking with students who were concerned about their families during the quake.
That's right, John and Olivia. Good evening. Friday's earthquake may not have caused too much damage, but it still caused worry within students. Though there weren't huge shakes, there were some big concerns.
To my recollection, that hasn't happened before, or like in my lifetime at least, that hasn't happened. So I was pretty shocked.
Friday, earthquake shook the tri-state area. Reported magnitudes as high as 4.8, those coming in Tewksbury, New Jersey. Students from the area worried for the safety of friends and relatives.
Some of my friends in like a group chat, they were pretty like worried and asking me if I was feeling anything in New York. And I hadn't heard anything from my family down there, so that made me worried.
Aftershocks shook throughout the day, one of the largest being a 4.0 near Gladstone, New Jersey. Shelby Rich is from Bedminster, just one town over from Gladstone, and she was surprised it was so close to home.
I think it's definitely scary because it's something that no one really has control over. So hearing that it happened like right next to me was just kind of like I don't know, made you just be like very appreciative of, you know, not having a lot of damage.
Though she didn't have much, there was still some significant damage throughout the state. Water main breaks were reported, and gas leaks also led to evacuations. Back at SU, Shelby's brother Shane also attends Syracuse, and having him here made her feel just a little better.
Well, just knowing that if anything bad were to have happened to anyone in my family or like the people, you know, at home, like we had each other, just having that security.
Syracuse has a large population of students from the tri-state area, most of whom are not used to these earthquakes, and many of them share the same feelings of shock and worry. John and Olivia, back to you.
Coming up after the break, find out which presidential candidate is leading the favor of younger voters and what students are saying.
Time is of the essence to get him back.
And Senators Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell introducing a new resolution calling for the immediate and unconditional release of Ryan Corbett. That and more after the break.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with John Perik, Olivia Maniscalco, and Kaitlin Campbell. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Tension is rising as we get closer to the 2024 presidential election. Citrus TV's reporter Mike Lamore tells us more about the national poll and what students have to say.
We have an empty podium right here to my right. You know what that is? That's for Joe Biden. I'm trying to get him to debate. I'm calling on Crooked Joe to debate anytime, any place. We'll do it anywhere you want, Joe.
It's the rematch of the 2020 election. Former President Donald Trump is seeking redemption as he steps into the ring once more against President Joe Biden. And while it's too early to tell who will land the knockout punch, a Wall Street Journal poll says Trump is leading Biden in 6 out of 7 swing states, which is the direct opposite of the 2020 election when Trump won only 1 of the 7. And for the first time since 1988, the Marist College National Poll shows a Republican candidate is leading the favor of younger voters. But some Syracuse students refuse to believe the polls are true.
He's had his time to show that he could be a good president, and he hasn't really done that.
Just because of the target audience that I've been seeing, I assume that more people my generation would be liberals and like pro-Biden.
But others feel the polls are telling the truth.
I can see why younger people might be voting for Trump because of Biden's handling on the whole Israel-Palestine situation. I think that's really starting to put a lot of pressure on him, and I think his response to that is really gonna weigh a lot with how the younger people are gonna vote for him.
And while the polls may be showing one presidential candidate is leading the other in the race, most students here at SU are not satisfied with neither Trump or Biden.
They haven't done a good job, treating the underrepresented communities.
The only option you have are those two, which is kind of sad because they're just not really good candidates.
Both students saying they will still vote this coming election, even if it means choosing between the, quote, lesser of two evils. In Syracuse, Mike Lamort, Citrus TV News.
And Senators Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell have introduced a new resolution calling for the immediate and unconditional release of Ryan Corbett. Corbett is a Western New Yorker who has been detained by the Taliban since August of 2022.
As long as Ryan is held by the Taliban, I will never stop fighting to bring him back home and reunite him with Anna, his children, his family, as quickly as possible.
Corbett traveled to Afghanistan to renew his visa almost 2 years ago when he was then taken into detention without reason. Corbett's wife Anna says, quote, "This resolution is proof that Ryan is not forgotten by his country."
Today, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. has seen no evidence that Israel has committed genocide against Hamas in Gaza. This comes during a critical point in the Israel-Hamas war, when many countries, including the U.S., have been critical of the way the IDF are conducting military operations in Gaza. Currently, more than 33,000 people have died during the conflict, and more than 75,000 have been injured.
And the parents of the Oxford High School shooter have been sentenced to 10 years in prison. The married couple were charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
And this comes after prosecutors say they had an unsecured gun in the house and showed indifference to their son's mental health. This marks the first time parents have been convicted of involuntary manslaughter in relation to a school shooting. And you can see the sun's out, blue skies, nice live look at the quad. Our weather anchor, Kaitlin Campbell, will be back in studio with her full forecast. Stay with us.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries.
But now, we've got something to say. Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that,
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault. Then the funds.
learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Now, I wish that sun that we saw today was going to continue, but unfortunately, you can see here that is not the case. If we're looking here at Wednesday and Thursday, we're still going to feel that warm temperatures, but we're looking at Saturday and Sunday, and unfortunately, those 70 degrees is not going to stick around. So this week, you definitely want to bring out your raincoat, your umbrella, and just have everything on standby just in case it suddenly downpours, because it looks like it is going to. Now, The one good thing I have to say that spring is finally here, maybe even summer. If we look at today, we saw a high of 76 degrees when the average is normally 53 degrees for today in Syracuse. And the record has been 77 degrees. So we're just one away from the record temperature being broken. So I will gladly take that even if it means some rain. So it's hot in Syracuse over here, but what's hot in Sports Max?
What's going on? You've got the hots and the colds, the yes and the no's. I don't know what's going on. But coming up in sports, I'll tell you about how the hottest team in college basketball defended its title last night and how some colder teams like the Syracuse Mets and Syracuse softball are looking to heat up in April. That and more on the other side.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner. Go.
Excellent. Sorry for his fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
You know, people better get us now. That's all. You better get us now. Because it's coming.
If you heeded that warning 4 years ago from UConn men's basketball head coach Dan Hurley, you would know since then the Huskies have came, they saw, they took what's theirs, and they took so much more. Welcome into sports. I'm Max Gifford. Last night marked the end of the college basketball season, and if you're anything like me and you don't like change, this was the season for you. That's right. A different year, but the same result. The top overall seed UConn is back at the top of the college basketball world after a 75-60 routing of another one seed in Purdue. Let's take you to Phoenix to see how this game played out. It started out with a 3 from Hassan Diarra, but UConn was doing it all over the floor. There's Stephon Castle, a little roll-away jumper, but Purdue was not going away. Wow. Cam Heidi, let's look at that again. The one-handed thunder from down under. But then in the second half, Purdue, they shot a lot of shots like that. And UConn would take full advantage, turning defense into offense very quick. That's a quick, easy 2 points. UConn went up by almost 20 in this game. And there's Cam Spencer with the icing on the cake. UConn, the first team to go back-to-back since Florida back in 2006 and 2007. So we'll come back to Central New York for this next story where the Syracuse Mets hosted the Worcester Woo Sox yesterday afternoon. This marked one of 2 games the Mets play all season long on Monday. The solar eclipse had already passed by the time this game was played, but if you were a Mets fan, you probably wanted to shade your eyes if you were at the game because early in this contest, it was not pretty. It started out with a strikeout of Trey Thompson, but the temperature of the bats wasn't necessarily the problem. It was a lot of unforced errors from Syracuse. You see here a failed hit and run results in an easy double play for the Woo Sox. He's not even trying. He literally just had to take a nice little trot over to first, and then look at this play. Woo Sox already up 7-0 at this point. Chopper to third, and the throw's way wide. But if you ask Syracuse manager Dick Scott, he'll tell you the biggest problem was a road trip hangover.
We've had, it was kind of a rugged trip down in Scranton. It was cold, rainy, snowy, all except for Sunday. So just give the guys a day. It's warmer now, and I'm hoping that just on Wednesday we land here and kind of start to put things back together.
So after a stinkfest against the Sox, it's up to the Mets to freshen up because they play Worcester for 5 more games this week. The resumption after the off day is tomorrow with first pitch just past 6:30. So the Mets are back to work tomorrow, and if you're not busy at all tomorrow, you can double up on the diamond because Syracuse softball hosts Colgate for a midweek doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. This is a Syracuse team that was outscored 30-3 against the number 17 team in the land, Clemson, this past weekend, going against a Colgate team where opponents hit over 300 against them. So should be a good game, and the times for those games are slated for 2 and 4. And Kaitlin talked about it a little. I know it just warmed up, but we'll finish on the ice because some major playoff implications in play for an Empire State showdown between the Rangers and the Islanders. If the Blue Shirts win and the Hurricanes lose tonight, the Rangers lock up the Metropolitan Division title. The Islanders are desperately hanging on to their 3rd place spot in the Metro Division as well. And then deep in the heart, if you're going to Texas, the Sabres still holding on for their playoff lives. They need a win to move their magic number down to 2, but Dallas vying for its first Central Division title since all the way back in 2015 and 2016. But John and Olivia, that's going to do it for sports.
Well, hey, thank you very much. I got a question, though, for you. I got Georgia on my mind right now. Who do you like for the Masters this week?
Ooh, it's a good question, but I think Scotty Scheffler right now is playing some of his best golf, and I don't see a world where Scotty Scheffler loses right now.
2 green jackets in 3 years. Boy, I would love to see that. And I would also like if Kaitlin Campbell could give us some better news in her final forecast. Stay with us.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Let's take one last look at your weather. Tomorrow when you wake up, it's going to be 59 degrees and rainy. So that sun today is not going to stick around for tomorrow. And you want to make sure you bring your umbrella as you go to classes. Now, for my photo of the day, we have my friends and I yesterday on the quad watching the eclipse. It was so much fun, and last minute, all my teachers canceled their classes, which was really nice. Did you guys enjoy the eclipse?
Oh, I had a great time. I thought it was really cool. I was over by I think it was Harvey's Garden, that area, nice and open, and I couldn't believe how dark it got.
Yeah, it got very dark. I saw a solar eclipse in, I believe, 2017, but I couldn't really remember what exactly actually happened. It was crazy. My friend said, I feel like I need to go eat dinner because it was dark out, but it was 3 p.m. That was a crazy experience, but so much fun.
I personally was super underwhelmed at the start when it was super cloudy, but once the path of totality really came to full fruition, that's when I became a kid on Christmas and I had my eyes wide open.
How about, though, we got blue skies today. I think it was sunny on Monday, and of course, overcast, and it was, but no, either way, it's a part of history, right? Well, that's all the time we have for you today on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Olivia Maniscalco.
And I'm John Perik. Take care, Syracuse.